If you're wondering which budget gaming laptops are worth your money, stick around. After we run through each product, I'll give you my personal take. Would I buy it or would I skip it? No fluff, just my honest opinion. Let's get into it. Alienware ACU seems 250. This thing looks like it fell off a spaceship and landed in a bargain bin, giving you a surprisingly premium magnesium alloy chassis that makes the other plastic bricks on this list look like cheap toys. However, while the graphics performance is decent, the screen is slower than my grandma trying to use a touchscreen, and the speakers sound like a squirrel screaming into a tin can. Would I buy it? Maybe, because even though the display ghosting is absolute ass, the on-site service warranty means someone will actually come to my house to fix it when it inevitably overheats. Asus TUF Gaming 16. This laptop is built like a literal tank and probably has more structural integrity than my last 3 relationships, plus the battery life actually lasts long enough to finish a gaming session without hugging a wall outlet. On the flip side, the fans are so damn loud at 55 decibels that your neighbors will think you are launching a private space program, and the screen is dimmer than a candle in a hurricane. Would I buy it? Yes, since it is a military-grade beast that can survive being dropped down a flight of stairs while delivering smooth 165 Hz frames. HP Victus 15, it looks like a clean office laptop, so you can trick your parents into buying it for schoolwork. But once you start gaming, it runs hot enough to fry an egg directly on the WASD keys. The build quality is as wobbly as a drunk toddler, especially that screen hinge, but at least the solid-state drive is fast enough to load your games before the thermal throttling kicks in. Would I buy it? No, because I value the skin on my fingertips and do not want a laptop that tries to melt itself into a puddle of plastic every time I open Google Chrome. Acer Nitro ANV15 52586Z. This machine is the definition of, it's not much, but it's honest work, packing a 65-watt graphics card that handles most games fine while keeping the internals surprisingly cool for a budget laptop. Unfortunately, the display has such trash color coverage at 54% standard red-green-blue that every game looks like it is being played through a muddy windshield and the speakers are basically whisper quiet. Would I buy it? Maybe, but only if I had a spare monitor to plug it into, so I do not have to look at that depressing, washed-out screen all day. MSI Thin A15. This laptop is so light you might forget it is in your bag. But that is mostly because the chassis is made of dreams and very fragile plastic that feels like it will snap if you look at it too hard. It tries to keep up with the big boys using its Ryzen processor, but with a tiny 45-watt power limit on the graphics. It has the gaming performance of a calculator compared to the Asus. Would I buy it? No, because the loose hinges and non-existent cooling fans make it feel more like a very expensive paperweight than a reliable gaming rig. Asus TUF A16. This absolute tank of a machine pairs a beefy AMD Ryzen 7 260 with an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 5070, making it feel like you are driving a monster truck through a field of butter. The 90-watt-hour battery actually lasts long enough to finish a game of Civilization, though the fans scream louder than a toddler in a supermarket when you try to run Cyberpunk 2077 on ultra settings. Would I buy it? Yes, because its military-grade durability means it might actually survive when I eventually rage quit and throw my mouse at it. Lenovo Legion 5 Gen 10. I spent some time with this beauty, and the 2.5 kilopixel OLED display is so vibrant and crisp that it makes my actual reality look like a blurry mess in comparison. While the keyboard is snappy enough for my panicked button mashing, the glossy screen reflects my own disappointed face back at me whenever the sun dares to come out. Would I buy it? Yes. It is the rare double-duty laptop that lets me pretend to work during the day while secretly planning my next raid with those sweet 165 Hz visuals. MSI Thin GF63. Calling this thin is like calling a cardboard box aerodynamic, especially since the ancient Intel Core i5 and bottom-tier RTX 2050 struggle to keep up with anything more demanding than a high-stakes game of Minesweeper. The single-channel 8GB of memory is a total joke in 2026, and the cooling system sounds like a jet engine trying to take off just to keep the laptop from melting through my desk. Would I buy it? No. I would rather use the money to buy a high-end calculator and a bag of magic beans than deal with this stuttering mess. Lenovo LOQ15. This little sibling to the Legion tries its best with a full-power 115-watt RTX 5060, providing surprisingly decent frame rates that almost make you forget the entire chassis feels like it was made from recycled yogurt cups. The tiny 60-watt-hour battery dies faster than a red shirt in Star Trek, so you are basically tethered to a wall outlet like a digital prisoner. Would I buy it? Maybe, but only if it is on a massive sale because the short battery life and plastic build make it feel a bit like a great value version of a real gaming rig. Acer Nitro 16's gaming laptop. Testing this beast was a workout since it is heavier than my sense of existential dread, but that massive 16-inch screen is surprisingly bright and smooth at 165 Hz. The dedicated performance button is a nice touch for when you need to jump from quiet mode to vacuum cleaner simulation during a heavy firefight, even if the plastic construction feels a bit cheap. Would I buy it? Yes, because despite the chunky design, it actually stays cool under pressure and delivers enough power to make me forget I am a budget gamer. HP Omen 16. I rocked this black plastic tank in the Ryzen 9 8940HX paired with an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 5060. Absolutely shreds frames for a budget beast, but the display is so dim and color deprived that I felt like I was gaming in a Victorian-era basement. The keyboard is actually a silent dream to type on. Yet HP decided to murder the port selection by removing Thunderbolt in the card reader like they were trying to save weight on a diet. Would I buy it? Maybe, because while the performance to price ratio is a total win, that lackluster screen makes me want to wear night vision goggles just to see my health bar. HP Omen Transcend 14. This tiny legend actually fits in a normal human backpack, and that 120Hz OLED panel makes colors pop harder than a bag of microwave popcorn. Though it does have some ghosting issues that'll make fast games look like a blurry fever dream. It runs surprisingly quiet for something this thin, but don't expect to win any marathons because the battery life is about as reliable as a chocolate teapot when you're actually gaming. Would I buy it? Yes, specifically for the best budget OLED vibes if you value a screen that doesn't look like washed out laundry and can live with the slower response times. Asus ROG Zephyrus G14. Using this 2026 model feels like holding a piece of jewelry that can also run Cyberpunk, especially with that absurd NVIDIA GeForce RTX 5080 jammed into a 14-inch frame that puts every other budget contender to shame. The build quality is basically untouchable, but it gets hotter than a spicy pepper eating contest, and the price tag is definitely pushing the definition of budget into sell a kidney territory. Would I buy it? Yes, because life is too short for ugly laptops, and the sheer power-to-size ratio makes me feel like a wizard even if my lap is literally on fire. MSI Katana A15 AI. This thing looks like it was designed by a teenager in 2012 with its chunky plastic and 4-zone RGB, but the Ryzen 9 8945HS and AI-powered cooling actually kept my frame rate stable while the fans screamed like a jet engine taking off. The 144Hz screen has the color accuracy of a wet cardboard box, yet it handles modern titles with DLSS 3 so smoothly that I almost forgot I was looking at a blue-tinted mess. Would I buy it? No, because the build quality feels like a toy and I can't stand a display that covers less than 70% of the sRGB color space when I'm trying to actually see the enemies. Asus TUF Gaming F16. This absolute unit comes with a massive 16-inch 240Hz screen that makes everything feel butter smooth. But Asus decided to pair it with an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 5050, which feels like putting a lawnmower engine inside a Ferrari. The cooling system is thick enough to survive a meteor strike, and the battery actually lasts long enough for a decent session, but the fans in turbo mode are loud enough to alert my neighbors 3 houses down that I'm losing in Warzone. Would I buy it? No, because while the big screen is nice, the storage is tiny, and I'm not about to pay for a gaming laptop that struggles to hit high settings on a 1600p panel. Acer Nitro 568 AI. This budget beast packs an AMD Ryzen 7 260 processor and an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 5060, making it punch way above its weight class while staying cooler than a cucumber in a freezer. The 180Hz 1200p display is a total win for smooth headshots, though the integrated speakers sound like they are broadcasting from inside a tin can at the bottom of a well. Would I buy it? Yes, because getting a 16-inch 180Hz screen with actual cooling for a budget price is basically a glitch in the simulation. MSI Cyborg 17. This laptop looks like a futuristic relic with its translucent chassis, but the Intel Core 7 240H and RTX 5060 combo will have you hunting for a wall outlet since the battery life is as short as a toddler's attention span. While the massive 17.3-inch 144Hz screen is great for seeing every pixel of your defeat, it is much chunkier than the Acer and feels like you are carrying a literal tombstone in your backpack. Would I buy it? Maybe, but only if you are a size queen for screens and plan on never leaving the 5-foot radius of your power brick. Thanks for watching. I hope this video helped you pick the budget gaming laptops for you. If you have any questions, drop a comment below. Links to all of these products mentioned in this video will be in the description.